Mr. President.
The senator is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. President Biden has a lot of duties and obligations and a lot on his plate right now, but the important thing that we are involved in, we're all concerned about the nominees, who they are, what the process is, and what do we in the minority what leverage we have to impact that. I think that Javier Becerra is not fit to be our Secretary of Health and Human Services, and I say this because of his appalling track record disrespecting the sanctity of life, blatantly attacking First Amendment rights and his extreme policy views. Now, throughout his career, Mr. Becerra has proven that he has no shame when it comes to his pro-abortion beliefs. As Attorney General of California, Becerra led a years-long lawsuit targeting the Little Sisters of the Poor. This order of Catholic nuns is devoted to caring for the elderly poor. All they want is to be free to operate in accordance with their religious beliefs, and I think we can all understand that. But Becerra sued the federal government to force the nuns, and we're talking about the Little Sisters of the Poor, force the nuns to provide access to birth control and abortion-inducing drugs, completely disrespecting their religious beliefs. During his confirmation hearings, multiple senators asked Mr. Becerra about his lawsuit, and he said, "Well, I never sued any affiliation of nuns. My actions were always directed at the federal agencies." But I think it's pretty misleading because he may have sued the federal government, but his actions certainly directed at the nuns. And that's not his only assault on life. Mr. Becerra also fought against the Trump administration's Title X rule in court. We all remember this. This is where he ensured that federal tax dollars would only go toward family planning clinics that don't offer abortions. And during the pandemic, Becerra has been an aggressive advocate of expanding access to chemical abortions, thereby providing abortions by mail that are done at home and without the supervision of a medical provider. And all abortions, in my view, and I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but I think all abortions are bad. But increasing unsupervised access to chemical abortions, which are 4 times more likely to cause problems and complications for the mother than surgical abortions, shows that Mr. Becerra's concern isn't about health, it's about his pro-abortion agenda. We shouldn't be surprised. During his time in Congress, Becerra voted against multiple pro-life bills, including the partial birth abortion ban, and that was one that was sponsored on both sides. It's a bipartisan bill. It banned the horrific procedure in which a baby is partially delivered and then painfully destroyed. But Becerra isn't just radical in his support for abortion. He also goes after the First Amendment rights of individuals who disagree with him. I'm sure everyone here remembers the shocking, heart-wrenching evidence collected by 2 undercover journalists in 1915 that showed Planned Parenthood's involvement in selling the body parts of aborted babies. Becerra has chosen to prosecute the journalists rather than take the action to protect babies and investigate the evidence of his behavior. Becerra also targeted the California pro-life pregnancy centers by forcing them to advertise abortions in violation of their First Amendment rights. Now, he fought them all the way to the United States Supreme Court, and he lost. But he didn't give up. Last fall, he supported California's ban on indoor worship services, also in violation of the First Amendment, and he lost again in the Supreme Court. He doesn't give up. Justice Gorsuch said, and this is a quote from Justice Gorsuch, he said, "If Hollywood may host a studio audience or film a singing competition, while not a single soul may enter California's churches, synagogues, and mosques, something has gone seriously awry." And I agree with Justice Gorsuch in that observation. Becerra also wants to decriminalize illegal immigration, saying, quote, "They are not criminals. They haven't committed a crime against anyone." Should be confirmed to the HHS secretary. He'd be positioning to give illegal immigrants access to his his programs. So lastly, I just want to send a message to the pro-life movement, to people in Oklahoma and Americans all around the country who really believe in the sanctity of life. We are not going to give up in trying to block this nomination, and we'll do everything we can to stop the confirmation of George. With that, I yield the floor